You already know what it is. You hear the sounds in the background. That means it's time for another one of those comedy plugs, baby. Then you rocking with the speech guy, Tony Asar, A-S-A-R, coming from the land of sugar free. So you know it's nothing sweet, but everything's nice. And you know what it is, what we do here. We gotta have a little bit of the jazz. Oh, we gotta have some bars, gotta play them slappers. You gotta have some comedy, some ha-ha-ha-ha's. And of course, it wouldn't be the comedy plug if I didn't bring a homie with me. We got a whole lot to catch up, a whole lot of jazz, a whole lot of vibes. But for right now, baby, let's get right. And right now, I got that new banger coming from Ross. Oh, handsomer. Oh, 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 oh. And you know what it is, baby. You rocking with the speech guy, Tony Asar, A-S-A-R, coming from the land of sugar free. So you know it's nothing sweet, but everything's nice. And once again, it wouldn't be the comedy plug if I didn't have a homie with me. Oh, and I'm going to go ahead and allow her to introduce herself. Go ahead and tell the people what your name is.
Hey, everybody. I'm Chelse Greaux. Happy to be here on the Comedy Plug today.
Oh.
You remind me of my uncle right now.
I'm the drunk uncle at the party
at the family reunion. Yup, the uncle that's like, that's you gonna be your friends to the.
No, but Chelse, how you been, man? How you been?
Oh man, I'm blessed, man. I'm very blessed. I'm just out here grinding, traveling and stuff like that.
I've seen that. I'm familiar with you because we homies, we go back.
Yeah.
But real quick, one time, tell the people where you from.
I'm actually from Manassas Park, Virginia. That's in Northern Virginia. Shout out to the DMV. And yeah.
What's that DMV like? We're getting a lot of people here from the DMV.
Yeah.
What's it like out there?
Well, it's lit out there. I love growing up in the DMV. A lot of black people, a lot of just good vibes, good music, history, a lot of history. Some of it good, a lot of it slavery, but it's still America. But I love growing up there,
And then you also went to college out there, graduated out there?
I did. I went to college at Virginia Commonwealth University. That's in Richmond, Virginia.
That's an HBCU, ain't it?
It's not technically, but it had HBCU vibes because it was like 25% black. Yeah. So, I just rounded up, right? I was like...
That's crazy. Well, we say 25%. We was like, that's a lot of black people right there.
That's a lot. It was like 100,000. Like,
HBCU.
It was 100,000 students. So, a quarter of them being black. I was like, we had the Divine Nine, all of that. So, yeah, we had NAACP chapter. So, when you had NAACP chapter and, AKAs, you're like, okay, that's an HBCU.
Yeah, off the rip. You're definitely in a Spike Lee joint.
Exactly. School days, yep.
So, when you were going to college, what did you study? What were you majoring in?
I actually majored in this, actually. I majored in broadcast journalism. So, yeah. So, I studied that. I did radio. We had like an on-campus news station. So I had to do all of that, but yeah, I minored in African American studies. So,
okay. Still kept it black the whole way.
Had to. I mean, Richmond is a lot of history, and all my professors were black, so that was very helpful. And I got that real history. Not that watered down high school history where they just talk about Lincoln and shit.
So what about growing up in Virginia do you feel helped shape you?
Honestly, I think growing up in Virginia, what helped shape me is just Virginia is the perfect blend to me, especially the Northern Virginia area. It's the perfect blend of that East Coast wit and street smarts, but you still get that Southern hospitality and everything. So I think it helped me balance between the two, right?
Okay.
So I really enjoyed that. Because when I grew up, I grew up before, like, you know, phones, internet and stuff. So, you know, like not like long before, but
no,
you know.
we ancient. We part of the ancient times.
We ain't ancient. We just, you know,
our baby years is the ancient years.
right. But you know, when I grew up though, we actually had like a creek in the back. You know, we had like woods. We used to go outside. I went outside to play and came on the street lights and everything. So I liked growing up with that. But then when I was a teenager, technology started picking up, internet started blowing up, Google came around. And I think that part of it, you know, I'm glad that happened when I was still young and able to absorb it and learn it. So definitely got that fun, got to be a child, got to, you know,
experience outside,
you know what I'm saying? Experience, you know, friendships, experience making mistakes, falling down, scraping my knee.
What's your fondest childhood memory growing up outside?
Oh man, my fondest childhood memory actually, it was going to the creek. You know, like me and my friends, we would just go to the little creek back there, and we would make forts and we would play games and characters.
This is like a Matilda type creek, like you picking up salamanders and stuff.
I don't know, there was salamanders. You know, it was some weird looking fish, but you know, them fish that got kicked out of the ocean. You know, those fish.
You ain't strong enough.
Yeah, right. Them fish are like, oh man, it's my last leg, it's my last fin. Yeah, but a lot of, you know, like chameleons, you know, lizards, things like that. So, but yeah, I don't know. It's something about, like, you know, being around fresh air during the day that it makes you appreciate life, you know, being around nature. And I think that today's kids growing up, you know, I think a lot of them are missing out on that. You know, it's really underestimated and, you know, unappreciated thing to do.
That part. That part. So you're in Virginia. You did the college experience. You scraped knees. You went to college.
Yeah.
We passing grades. So when was that transition to when you was like, all right, comedy, Cali lifestyle now?
So after I graduated, right, I got a job at the CBS affiliate in Richmond. And I worked there for like 2.5 years. I was associate producer. I was like creating content. It was great. But the reason I got into the news, and I guess this was my naivete at the time, I just wanted to tell the truth, you know, like that's what drew me to news, is like the truth and the honesty of it. But then when I worked in news, I realized, I was like, it's not as truthful as
they be editing it, don't they?
It's not as real. Yeah, they be editing. Advertisers be sending emails, and it's like, take that story off the internet now. It's like, so I think for me, when I realized that news wasn't as free as I thought that it was growing up, I grew up acting and singing in church and school. So yeah.
Was your father a deacon or something?
No.
They got those in Virginia. I feel like that's a Virginia thing. Deacons?
No. My dad wasn't into he was cool with the deacons. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I feel like that's the church mafia though.
Oh, it is. It is. I think he would have had to, I don't know, sacrifice something to be in there. He was right. No, but we were always in church. And so because I grew up performing, that was always my dream, you know, to perform. I wanted to major in theater. My dad was like, no, you need to
get some coins.
You need to major in something. So the compromise was journalism, because I thought, okay, if I get a job as a reporter, I'll be on TV and I'll be able to make money. And, you know, so fast forward, once I, you know, realized, news isn't real, like not as real as I thought it was, I was like, what am I going to do next? And I took an acting class, moved to, after I took my acting class, my teacher was like, you need to move to LA. If you want to act, you got to go to LA. So I did move to LA on August 1st, 2012. And 3 months later, this is the thing, LA is like a street fight, you know. It's just, the second you land, it's just like Mayweather, boom.
It's gangland, baby.
It is. That's what I'm saying. So the first 3 months out here, I went through so much drama, dog. Like I had crazy roommates. I mean, you know, Craigslist roommates, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I had a roommate that couldn't pronounce wine, so he got mad at me and threatened to kick me out. Like he was.
Wait, what?
I'm gonna break it down, okay?
Oh, yes, please.
He was Cuban, right? He was a Cuban guy and a Cuban gay man, and he had a boyfriend. They would throw plates when they got in arguments, and I slept in the living room, so that was just a hazard.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
But I remember one time he was like, oh yes, Chelsea, after I get off work, I like to come home and have a nice glass of Merlot and relax. And I said, oh, just so you know, it's actually Merlot. He said, no, Chelsea, I've been a citizen of this country for 10 years, okay? I tell you, I'm not to say wine, okay? It's Merlot and Cabernet. Then I said, it's Merlot and Cabernet, but, you know, you say it how you want. I'm sure in a restaurant, as long as you're paying, they'll accept it.
That part.
Right. And then he got so mad, and he said, "You're a little expletive." I can't cuss. So he's like, "You're a little beep, you're a little blah, blah, blah." He cussed me out and told me I'm just a little whatever, and he can kick me out. And, you know, he's like, "You'll be on the streets. You don't mean anything to me." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I just went in my car. I drove around the city. And I was like, man, I gotta tell people about this. And I had been venting to strangers about my experiences, and they would always laugh, which at first irritated me because I would be like, "Stop laughing, I'm serious."
Yeah. I'm going through some pain.
Right, I'm going through some things. They would be like, "You gotta do comedy." So after that night, and I have to thank him one day, because him going crazy like that pushed me into comedy. And I found an open mic on Hollywood Boulevard. I went and I did it. It was a bunch of poets, a bunch of musty people in the basement.
Sounds like open mic.
Yeah, basically. Those are the scents, you know. Must, shame, fear. Darkness. So, and then I did 5 minutes, and I was honestly just venting about my first 3 months in LA, and it went well. And I realized, I was like, this is what, I don't know, I haven't met like my male soulmate yet, as far as like a partner, but I think it's going to feel similar to how I felt the first time I did comedy, because I knew when I did that, I was like, oh, this is it.
Well, break down 3 of the feelings you felt right after you got off that stage.
Love, excitement, peace.
Oh. Love, excitement, peace.
Yeah.
So if y'all out here trying to slide them DMs, you better believe some love, some excitement,
and some peace. Okay, and peace.
Let's go, peace, love, excitement.
Okay. Let's move the peace up. Okay, because the peace is the priority.
So, all right. So now you got the bug. You like, I'm finding my thing. But when did that transition occur for you? When you was like, okay, this is gonna have to become a career, and this is gonna require some different type of skills, you know, kind of having to buckle down. Was it like that off the rip, or did it come later on when the fun? Because you know, when we start out, it's always fun, but then it gets like, hold up.
Right, it's like a relationship. The honeymoon phase, a few months, and then it's like, all right, you got to commit to me, right? Yeah. Comedy is like a wife. I mean, it's very demanding. It's like, or you know, husband, whatever. But
it doesn't put out. No, I'm just playing.
No, man, it does.
It doesn't pay.
You really have to work. You have to work to get comedy to put out. It's like crazy. I think it's funny because about 6 months into me doing stand up, I was like, you know, going to open mics and just figuring it out. I was so broke, right? Which is just like synonymous with your early years of comedy. And I remember I went to the Ha Ha Comedy Club in North Hollywood, and because I had a show and it was a bringer show, and because I was living in my car, I met people at the gym. So like 10 people that I met at the gym, you know, where I showered, they were like, "Oh my gosh, I'll come to your show." So they came, and because they came, I got to go up last. And that day, I was looking up flights to go back home, because I was like, what am I doing? I was like, I'm living in my car, I'm only been doing comedy 6 months, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? So I go in, and right before I'm about to get on stage, Damon Wayans walks in, right? And so he just walks in, he was working on something at the time, and he saw my whole set. And I remember seeing him walk in before I was going on stage, and I just had to tell myself, Chelsea, okay, Chelsea, just Damon Wayans, just don't look at him, okay? Just do not make eye contact, because if I don't make eye contact, I'm just gonna lose it. And so I got on stage, I did my set, and I had done my best set to date at that time. Just was really present, crushed it. And when I got off stage, you know, afterwards, he was walking out, and he said to me, he tapped me on my knee, and he said, "Hey, young lady, you were funny." He was like, you were really funny. He was like, "You know what? You just keep working, and you gonna get whatever you want in life." No, for real. And he was like, "I just want to make sure I told you that." And I said, "Oh my gosh!" Like, so my mouth said thank you, but my insides were like,
more money.
But that was a defining moment for me, because if he hadn't been there that night, and this is how I know, like, I feel like anytime, because there's been a few times when I've been at a breaking point where I've considered leaving LA, throwing in the towel, because I've gone through a lot. And that, honestly, if he hadn't said that to me, I might have moved back home and given up on comedy, because I was just so overwhelmed and broken at the time. And I didn't know. I was like, how can I be happy but still feel broken at the same time? And that's sometimes what comedy will put you in those spaces Yeah.
Especially after a killer show.
Especially.
You just go home like, wait. But I was just a superstar.
You open the fridge like a banana? That's it?
How did I do this?
Guess I'm having dreams for dinner again.
That part.
Right, hello?
Wash it down with tears.
Little tear cocktail. With a salted rim, right?
So it was right when Damon Wayans came through, told you, yo, you need to do this. That's when you popped in.
That's when I realized, I was like, you know what? I have to really buckle down. I got to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not going to be easy. And I think in that moment, what my mindset changed, I just accepted, because in the beginning, I felt bad because I was new at comedy, and I was good for a raw comic, but I hadn't, had done it a long time.
We're new. Yeah.
We're new.
We're new.
So a lot of, comics don't rock with you when you're new and stuff like that. They treat you like, oh, whatever, we'll see. You stick around.
But you understand now, though, right?
I do understand now. I get it now. But at the time, I was a little, So next thing you know, when I realized, I just accepted it. I was like, Chelsea, just accept. Other comics aren't going to rock with you. You may have to feel alone throughout this process, but you love comedy enough. You got to commit to it. And you got to just do this. So I did. I just did. I came up with a schedule. I was sleeping in my car. I would get up in the morning, go work out, go shower. I'd find a coffee shop. I'd write for anywhere from 2 to 4 hours a day. And then I would just hit mics, 4, 5, 6 mics a day. And I would just grind. Yeah. And I started getting on shows, and I got stronger. And man, at this point, that was...
I got stronger on you.
I got stronger on you. I got stronger on you.
Nah, that's... You know what? And that's what it always is for anyone listening. That's when it stops being a hobby. When you make a schedule. Mm-hmm. When before you plan out your week, you plan out that thing you gonna do for the week. That's when. So if you out there trying to chase them dreams and you out here scheduling and your people ain't rocking with you, man, why you doing that hobby? Why you chasing? First of all, bro, I have a planner.
Okay.
I have a daily.
That's how you know you adult, when you got a physical planner. Okay. Right.
Shout out to my producer Lee Waddell. Stays with
okay, she got lines, organization, dates. Okay, she got tabs, some color tabs.
Oh my God, high key, low key. I'm gonna take a side note. Shout out Maven Content Creations. She does keep me on point.
Right.
With everything. Right. And I appreciate that. If you need any of your artwork or producing done or visual or editing, things of that nature, holla at Maven Content Creation. That's my producer over there, Lee Waddell. Back to you. Ooh.
Welcome back.
No, so yeah, once again, it's when you start to make the schedule. Yeah. So when would you say you started to get the groove of it?
The groove. Okay,
you know so what I mean?
No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Any day now. No, but I guess for me, the first sign I felt like I was starting to get into a groove with my voice was honestly about maybe 5-6 years in. I had a day. It's a day that I realized the IRS took $600 out of my account with no warning. Overdrafted my account $200. I had just started a job.
Did you have Bank of America? Because they hit you. No, with it. And then
Bank of America gonna charge me $100. Yeah. I said, how you gonna charge me $100 to steal my money? I said, this is the mafia. Okay?
You know what I don't like about that? That the government found that Bank of America was wrong, but they didn't give none of us our money back.
They didn't give us not a dime.
I know they got a couple thousands of mine, man. I can use about 10 grand off top.
Okay, exactly. Anyway, well,
yeah. So they overdrafted your account.
They overdrafted my account, and I was devastated because money had been tight for so long, and I just was starting to get back on my feet. So it really put me behind. And I remember I had a show that day. I was so angry all day, I completely forgot I had a show until the last minute. And my homegirl was like, "Oh my gosh, are you coming to the show?" I said, "Oh, I almost canceled because I was so livid." And I've been crying all day. And you ever been so mad you can't even drink or smoke weed? I was so
mad. Bro, yeah. And then
I was like, no, I'm just sobriety. I just need to be sober, fam. And so I went to the show, And I did a set, and I have been doing yoga. So one of the things they've been talking about yoga is being present.
Yeah.
And I had a moment
when it hurts.
Okay. Sometimes you just got a raw dog life, fam. It's like, ooh. So I got on.
Wake up.
Exactly. Dog, I got on stage and I did like a 10-minute set, and that to date, and at that point, that was the best set I had done because I was present the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
I was clear, and I just remember I rocked that stuff. And then after I got off stage, this old white guy, he starts yelling. He's like, "Young lady, I need you to get over here right now. Young lady, come here."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh gosh, what does Scrooge want?" And I go over there, and he's like, "I just want to let you know, I usually come to this bar because I live across the street, and I hate the comedy nights because most of the comedy."
Don't they?
Can you just imagine always?
I know they do.
This man, this man was definitely alive when Martin Luther King was like that old white man. And then he gonna look at me and say, "Now I usually don't like because the comedians they're terrible, not funny, and then they can make up for being not funny by screaming, and it's just screaming bad comedy." So I know. He said, "But you know what? I almost wasn't going to come in here because I've been having a rough time. My wife died 6 months ago. My kids and I are fighting. The city's trying to take my house. I was at City Hall all day today trying to fight that." And he said, "I haven't slept in about a month. I slept maybe an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours a day, max." And he said, "I came in here even though I didn't want to, and I just saw your set." And he said, "I got to say, you were really funny, and you made me feel really good, and I think I'm going to have the first good night's sleep that I've had in a month." And he said, "I want to thank you." And I was like, oh my gosh, like this. And then I went into the car and just bawled crying because that's when I realized, I got, not only what did I feel like, I'm present, I'm in a groove, like I have my voice, but I also realized, I was like, wow, like this, the power that I had, and it made me want to work even harder at honing my voice. Cause I said, wow, cause to help somebody sleep, like, man, I said, wow, God, thank you for showing me like where this could go and like how I can use this to heal other people. And then that's when I realized, like, this is why I do it. That's why the IRS took the money on my account. That was just the devil trying to just, because the IRS and the devil, they work together.
The IRS, it's spelled backward, is devil. If you play them backwards,
okay,
it's like you owe me your soul and money.
Okay, I said, oh man, they be tag teaming, but it was all just a distraction, Like, in fact, I was almost gonna cancel the show, and what if I did, and then that man would have just seen screaming bad comedy, and not been able to sleep for another 30 days, right? Yeah. So after that, that's when I felt like, all right, I'm in the wavelength,
That part, because you know what. With that tell, a lot of artists have that tell because at the end of the day, yeah, the media is dope. Yeah, the glitz and the glam is great, but art has purpose.
It does.
Art has purpose on all mediums, all forms. Even content creators on Instagram or whatnot, because people need to get away, and you're giving them a little bit of purpose. So if you're an artist out there and you like on the tussle of the grind, just remember, it takes about 5 years. It does, because I think I found my voice around that time too, or my writing structure, or how I was going to take things. Yeah. So you do got to give yourself time to develop, but the whole time while you're developing, remember your art has purpose.
It does. Keep
going in with that.
And you never know who's watching, that's for sure.
Yeah, if you only got one follower, you got 1,000 watchers.
Yes, facts. Facts.
And you always know they watching you by going to the market and they just talking.
Yeah.
You're like, but how'd you know?
Right. No, dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, I've had complete strangers come up to me. I'd be in the grocery store just trying to get some gluten-free bread, and here they go. Because I've been in LA almost 10 years, and I know I've been in LA. Like, your gift for being in LA 10 years is a gluten and dairy allergy. Like, that's what they give you.
Bro, I lived here my whole life. I don't know where that came from.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's when you move here. If you grew up here, you good. But if you move here, then like 10 years, like, all right, here's throw some allergies, just to throw some other BS your way. So
it's in the air.
It's just in the air. It's like, ooh.
No more gluten.
No more gluten, fam. I was like, oh. But yeah, dog. So, I've gone to the grocery store and I've had people come up to me and like, oh my gosh, like, so good to see you. And I'm like, oh, so good to meet you. Actually, because I don't know who you are.
You are, yeah. No, sometimes you can't cuss.
You can't, but y'all can just imagine. Fill in the blank in your own space.
back.
Right. Yeah.
That part. But you know what? Today we also brought you along to play some cuts off your new joint, Off the Cane.
Off the Cane.
Off the Cane. And we're going to get a little bit more into the background and history of that. But, you know, got to make a shout out real quick. Be sure to check out fm.comedyplug on Instagram. Hit that like button. Go ahead and follow us so you can stay up to date to all the highlights, vids, skits, and clips brought to you by Maven Content Creation. But without further ado, oh, what it do, baby? What it do, baby? Once again, you rocking with the speech guy, Tony Asar, A-S-A-R. And if you ever want to get the titles, the tracks, and the albums where they at, you got to hit that link in the bio, baby. It'll take you to the absolute playlist for this episode where you can get all the jams, even the noise in the background. This is Mr. White by Caribbean. But you won't know how to spell that until you click the link. But we're going to go ahead and keep it going, keep it rocking, bring it back with my homie. Ooh. And Chelse, baby, what's up, man? How you been? We just heard a cut off your brand new album, Off the Cane.
Yes.
And honestly, this is what, you like your third album in?
Yeah, wow, man. Yeah.
Fourth recording, but three albums in?
Yeah, this is my third. So, I did my first album in 2018.
Down Dog.
Yeah. That was, that was just, I wanted to just challenge myself and give myself time and, because a lot of times it's hard to get in stage time past 10-15 minutes in LA. It's like you want to do more than that. You got to kind of like create
$50 or a month's worth of rent.
Exactly, dog. It's like you got to create it yourself. So I went ahead and I just decided to do an album. And I'm glad I did it. Kind of like pop my cherry in that area.
Yeah.
And then I got into a major accident in 2019. And
how so? What was the accident?
So the brakes actually failed on a scooter. It was my first and last time riding a scooter.
One of those birds?
No. I won't say the brand because there's a lawsuit, but I will say I chase my tequila shots with lemon now. Out of PTSD. But so I the brakes failed. It was my first time riding. I was completely sober. I wasn't high. I wasn't drunk, and the brakes just cut out and it threw me off the scooter and landed on my knee, ruptured my patella tendon. I know it's basically your knees wig cap, It kind of like keeps it in place. So just imagine it getting snatched back, and now your knee is like, oh no, where's my cap?
You knocked off my pad.
Right. So when your patella tendon get detached or whatever, like your patella's just walking around like a lost woman or a drag queen in the middle of a show. Like where's my wig?
With some Bambi legs.
Right. Exactly. So next thing you know, I got rushed to the hospital. Had to have surgery. And it's been that was almost 3 years ago. So it's just, I had to go to rehab, but I did walk with a cane. So 4 months after my surgery, I couldn't work. I pretty much just had to stay in bed and rest. Caught up on a lot of shows though, like watched all the Game of Thrones in like 7 days. So, wow. I had a lot of, watched Scrubs. I watched all the shows, but during that time I was so depressed because I was working out before. I was hiking and doing yoga and was starting to like, really just be active.
Being immobile can be a soul crusher.
It is, and that's the thing. Like, even though I was injured, I still had to take the bus. I was like, I had to take the bus to physical therapy. I said, "Dang God, I can't get no prescription for a car, nothing." Like,
there's some ultimate patience.
It's some ultimate patience, man, and it was really hard. But because I was so depressed during that time, I was like, I gotta do something, or I'm gonna lose my mind. That's how I felt. I gotta do something, and so I was walking to the grocery store, and this is when I had the walker. I wasn't on the cane yet. I'm still using a walker. Mm-hmm. And because they tried me on crutches. I took one step. They were like, oh, nope. You were like, you ain't messing up our surgery. They were like, we're going to give you this walker. So I used the walker to go to the grocery store. And I remember, this used to be, before my accident, 5-6 minute walk. Mm-hmm. It took me 45 minutes with the walker to go to the grocery store. Dang. One way. And because I had to keep taking breaks. And I remember I dropped my groceries. And I broke down crying. I was so angry. And I said, God, I can't do this. I was like, this is too hard. I was like, I can't do this. Everything hurts. What am I supposed to do, God? I can't do this. Yeah. And I just screamed that in the middle of the street. And all of a sudden, I felt this voice, and I believe it was God, that came to me and said, "My child, yes, you can. Matter of fact, yes, you can." And it's like, yeah. And I remember I busted out laughing when I thought about that. And I was like, yes, I can. And I said, and then that's the name of my next comedy album. And I'm going to tape it while I'm still walking with the cane. So that was November, and I taped it February 2020.
Okay.
And that was Yes I Can, and then I taped that and put that out there, and then of course the pandemic, right, and then everybody, and it was just actually funny because a lot of people reached out to me and told me, like, oh my gosh, your album really got me through the pandemic, because I was over here, like, I wasn't physically crippled, but emotionally I was on crutches in a wheelchair or whatever.
Yeah, people were going through a rough time out here.
They were. It was rough, and but that was then, and then so I've been off the cane now since about, I want to say July 2020. So
okay,
yeah. So we just been out here walking, moving, and
still doing like rehab and stuff.
Yeah. So I'm done with rehab. That was like a 6-month process, and now I just basically I do hot yoga and Pilates, right? Yeah. So I just gained a couple of white girl workouts, and just added them to my routine. And
question:
yeah.
Do people call hot yoga because if you say Bikram, you're talking about the little guy with the little sexual harassment cases?
Oh, dude, you know what? I never called it Bikram. I was like, man, if I walk in and I'm hot, this is hot yoga. Okay. if I'm hot in Shavasana when I'm just lying there flat, this is hot yoga, all caps. And but it's good for the knee, my knee loves it. Okay.
Yeah. I've had experience with yoga as well when I messed up my back. Yoga in itself, just stretching.
It's stretching, yeah.
It's stretching, but it's just amazing knowing like how just in the fact of just stretching and actually, like, I like it because it wrings you out.
Yo, that's a good description.
Does it like adjust your back? Because I can feel it sometimes doing some poses. Stuff just start like a Lego. But then like that sweat,
dog. And like I love when you're doing a pose and they're telling you what you're doing. Like I have instructors, they'll be like, all right, in this pose you're detoxifying your kidney and your liver. So after a night of drinking, I'll be like, ooh, let me lift this leg up.
That dog style makes sense now.
Right, you're like, oh, okay, let me get out this tequila. Okay. But dog, I just, it's been great. And so to celebrate, the fact that I have been off the cane for almost 2 years, October of last year, I decided to tape Off the Cane, because I was like, what if I wanted to just share my experiences? I was on the cane for the last album, and I was like, now I'm off of it, and so why don't we just keep that cane train growing?
It's a cane trilogy.
Exactly, dog.
Like I like it. No, but how difficult was that? The second time trying to record Off the Cane during the midst of the pandemic. How did you go about securing the stuff you needed?
Well, I actually reached out to a friend of mine. I have been working. A homegirl of mine owns it's black-owned comedy club called the Comedy Duck, and it's on Melrose.
Shout out to owner real quick.
Shout out to Thenya. Thenya from Kenya. She also just had a baby boy, so shout out to you, girl.
Black business owners, black families, baby.
Okay, yes, and that is. I said, come on, you better make a black man, girl. I know that's right. And so yeah, she opened it during the pandemic, and she had me kind of hosting and helping out at the venue. So I would work, and I kind of worked for credit to cover the cost of my rental space. And I told her I wanted to tape an album. She said, let's do it. Let's get it done. And the thing is it's so funny when you just take a step, the stairs will appear. I felt like when I recorded this album, I was like, the audio, who I needed for audio, who I needed for camera. It's like people just offered their support and reached out, and I kicked them what I could financially, but it was the love more so than anything. I think people just really, I'm really grateful. I'm at a place in my life going through my injury. It showed me who really rocks with me and who really supports me, and I hadn't had that out here. It's only in the last 4 years I felt like I've really grown into having my little
community,
my community and my nook of people that I can trust, and they supported me, and we got it done. And even the editing, you know what I'm saying, like, because I tried to edit it because I know how to edit, but fortunately, my laptop is a little too old to handle these new these new. Okay,
the way these updates work now.
These updates. When I tell you, this is what the man told me. I called him. I said, "So why can't I edit?" He said, "Oh, your computer is just like 1 year too old to handle 4K videos. So yeah, you're gonna have to figure something out. I said, well, I don't have 2 racks for a new laptop.
Yeah.
But homie of mine stepped up, offered to help, edited it, came out great. And so yeah, the roadblocks, they come up. But what I've learned is over the years, back in the day, I realized I used to just focus on the problem. And now I'm so happy that I'm at a place where I'm like, what's the solution?
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's when you know you're an adult.
Yo, that's adulting for real.
That's when you know, if you're still doing, oh my god, house burning,
yeah,
you're not an adult yet.
Yeah.
But if you're like, all right, let me go ahead and call 911 and get a Waddell.
Yeah.
Then
we gonna call the plumber, okay? It's just the toilet, like.
let me go ahead and handle this.
Right, exactly, and that's what happened. So we just got it done, and I dropped it January 31st, and it's been getting listens and views and shares, and I'm so excited. And so now it's on to the next thing. Now it's time to prep for the next album. I don't know whenever I'll drop that, maybe in a year, maybe 2, I don't know, but I'm really happy with what I put out. And I see the growth. I hear the growth on each album and each project that I put out. So,
that's what I was gonna ask. So how would you compare the process of making this last album, Off the Cane, compared to Down Dog? What are the 3 things you noticed were the growth in your areas?
I noticed, well, being sober. I'll tell you this, okay? So Down Dog, I was so nervous. I don't know why. I had spent the money to rent the place, all this stuff, and I was so nervous. First of all, I had way too many people open for me. I had a comedy show before my album taping. Never do that, okay? I had like 6 comics open for me.
Oh,
it was too much. The crowd was tired. I was tired. I had some shots, and then I got on stage and forgot some of my material that I was just like, okay, I didn't, but fine. That was learning experience. So for Yes I Can, I was like, okay, I'm sober. I was a lot more prepared, a lot more organized. And then for Off the Cane, I just felt like I was not coasting, but I just knew what I had to do. It was kind of like riding a bike. Once I decided to do the album months before I taped it, I just went ahead and I just made my notes out. I only had a couple openers. I felt like more of a well-oiled machine. Mm-hmm. Whereas before I felt like just like a rusty wheel on Down Dog. Just like, let's just get through the album. Let's just get through it. Let's just creak on by. No, definitely.
Love it. I'm gonna jump back to go forward real quick. So, congratulations on getting out of homelessness in LA.
Yes, thank you.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Real. But the main reason I'm congratulating that is because for listeners who might not be in the city, that is a hard thing to do. Mm-hmm. And my main question, after experience homelessness out here in the city, what do you think the city can do to better help people have a path to get up out of it? Because it's not that easy.
It's not. I think affordable housing is key, right? I wish the city
But here's the thing: when we talk about affordable housing, what are we talking about?
What I was gonna say,
they're going to give you 200 square feet for $800 a month.
Right. But what I will say is this: I actually wish the city had programs where okay, maybe somebody just needs 6 months of paying $400 a month to stay. And you may stay in a box apartment, mm-hmm. and you may have to share a bathroom, a communal style, whatever. Mm-hmm. But I think just having a place and feel safe, that's so much on your mental. I mean, I look back over these last 10 years, and the periods I've been was homeless 3 times. Once with a car, twice without. And I gotta tell you, there's nothing, it's so hard. It's nothing but the grace of God that I was able to push through and keep putting out comedy. But it is mentally draining to not have a safe place to go home at night. It takes so much out of you. And because we're built in that survival mode, your mind is going to focus so much on that. You can only give so much to your art and so much to your craft.
To your life.
So much to your life. And that's why I just feel like if they had programs where it's okay, it's for 6 months, you can stay in this little dorm, tiny room, you may just have a hot plate and a bed, but that's all you need, right? And then, at $400 a month, something like that. I feel like if those programs existed, and if you don't want to do a year lease, do 6 months, 8 months, I don't know. I just wish that there were more options honestly, what I would want to do, like a goal of mine in the future, when I, you know, get to where I want to be and where God's taking me, I would love to reach back and I would love to build artist housing, you know, housing for artists to move to LA, and I would love it to be affordable. And when I say affordable, I'm talking like between $400 to like $700 a month, different options. And yeah, like, because sometimes you just need a little bit of a break.
I'm going to hop in real quick on that and agree with what you just said. And I don't know why they won't do that in Koreatown, because that's literally where, I guess, Silver Lake, there's some writers or whatever, but really all the artists I ever known in the city is in Koreatown.
Yeah, I started in Koreatown. That's where I started.
So why, like, you're right. If they figure out some type of like a condominium type,
dude, well,
it don't gotta be a full apartment complex.
Right.
It could be little condominiums or what is it when it's two houses stacked together?
Like a duplex.
Yeah,
something. But here's the gag. COVID showed us that they had the housing. Okay.
COVID exposed that.
Didn't it expose
booties?
Okay, because let me tell y'all, when COVID first hit and Garcetti and them, they was like, Skid Row. They were like, all y'all got to get some house. Excuse me. Yo, Skid Row was a ghost town. I saw like a tumble of hay like roll through Skid Row. Saw some newspapers flying around. I said, "Oh, okay, they done clean." No one was on the street, and I was like, "You got to think there's thousands of people who live."
Wait till the Olympics get here,
dude.
Watch what I wonder where they're gonna put them at.
I'm telling you, dog. But there's places. There's so many. I was looking it up. There's so many buildings in LA that are underhoused or only half full or third full.
Or a lot of uncompleted buildings.
Incomplete buildings.
Incomplete.
But you know, I round it up. I know what you meant. Y'all know we complete. But anyway, it's just honestly that was so eye-opening. I was like, so y'all have the space. I was like, what if someone like me were to like buy a building like that and renovate it and find other ways to like, you know, fund it and everything, then that could offset the cost of somebody's rent. So you can pay $400 a month to live in like a little like single that's like, you know, you're not gonna have a lot of space. It's not gonna be, you know, super fancy, but it's just enough to give you that peace. And so that's what I definitely think we need.
They have the space, they have the money, and they have the food. You've been on set, right?
Oh yeah.
So crafts is ridiculous,
dude.
And then they throw it all away.
They throw it all away.
All of it.
You know
why?
Dude, you know how many catering events I've worked where they're like, and it's just food on food, and they're just like, all right, well, I guess we're just gonna toss it. I'm like, dude, this could be, and they're like, oh, we can't legally give it to homeless people because what if they get sick? What if they get sick? They're already sick. Are you kidding me?
Like, I have to see. They ain't worried about no food.
I said, you better give these tacos.
They were like, thank you.
You better put some sour cream on these tacos and pass these around. Like, it's just, so the food is there, dog.
The food, the money, the space.
It exists, and it's just somebody is just, you know, instead of allocating and doing something with that, somebody's just putting money in their pockets and take, you know.
A lot. That's, honestly, I became more Republican the older I got in California, because I started noticing they're wasting a lot of our funds and our taxes. There's no reason, as high as we pay taxes and property tax, sales tax, gas tax, and because I like this, my tobacco tax is high. Okay. Out of all these taxes, how is everything still going up beyond livability?
Beyond livability. I mean, and that's the thing is like the pandemic, even during the pandemic, so many landlords dropped rent. Like I saw places that before the pandemic were like maybe a one bedroom was $1,800 before the pandemic. Some of them dropped as low as $1,300 during the pandemic. I'm like, so
especially in downtown LA.
Especially,
and they were overcharging.
They were. So I'm like, so you really don't need $1,800 for this apartment.
For this earthquake proof.
Okay.
If the big one hit, we all die.
It's like if I walk into the apartment and the roaches are playing cards, fam, like give me you. I need a discount. Okay.
This is about $600, bro. Like, all right, let's keep it 100. This is about $600. You trying to squeeze an extra $1,200 out of it?
Dog. So I don't know. It's
more programs for the homeless to get out. I feel that.
And mental health services too, for sure.
See, that's my thing when it comes to the homeless argument, because a lot of people say just give them jobs, but it's like you can't just throw them back into society. It's my argument for homeless is the same for people who are just released out of prison. You can't just throw them back into society. Yeah. They just went through some traumatic stuff. Right. They have to unwind and unfortunately, like, kind of recondition them to acclimate them to things in society, because living on the road and living within society is two different things. Yeah. I was homeless for about 18 months because of pride.
Don't it come before a fall?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was very prideful. It was very prideful in my little Honda Accord.
Okay. A Honda. Okay, great gas mileage.
It was stretched, so it was one of the 96s that I was living comfortably.
Gotcha. Seat back.
What was I saying? Sorry, Carmelita.
You were talking about homeless.
Homelessness. It is just hard getting up out. Oh yeah, because you gotta reacclimate them.
Reacclimation. Yeah.
Because living on the streets is different, because you do learn new skills when you're homeless on the streets compared to how you're gonna wash things when you get back in the home, or how you're gonna get your sleep, or like when you said at the gym. I already know that trick. 24-hour fitness.
Okay,
you good. You can even get a steam room out.
Listen, when I was up in there in that sauna,
$30 a month.
Okay. And that's what I learned, when I was having a shower at the gym. That's when I learned to just be really comfortable with my body, because I was like at one of my heaviest when I moved to LA, right? And it always blew my mind, because it's like, to me, if I'm in a women's locker room, like, that's my time. Like, we all got the same stuff. I'm gonna get butt naked. I'm gonna put my little oils on, and I'm gonna just get it going. But so many women would be like, oh my gosh, like, what is that? Is that coconut oil? Like, what is that? It's not like, I'm like, what do you use? Like, and I would put my shea butter on. They're like, oh my gosh, where do I get that? Is that from? Is that in Inglewood? Do I get that from Laverne Park?
We're gonna get more back to this, but let's keep it going with the music. Oh, come on now. And you know what we rocking with, baby. It's the speech guy, Tony Asar, ASAR. You are listening to the Comedy Plug, where we go ahead and play these lo-fi type jazz down vibes. And we go ahead and play a little cuts and slappers coming from the pod. Pomona, IE, baby, that's the hometown. And as well, we got jokes and homies with me. And once again, bringing back the homegirl, Chelse Greaux.
You gotta go a little higher. You
gotta. That's like the dreams.
Right. Okay, that was like the supreme.
we're almost platinum recording artists out here.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. Talking about platinum recording artists, you did mention that you started off singing. By any chance, anyway, you're gonna be one of those comedians that double up, drop the jokes, and the music album?
It's crazy, because for a long time I always felt like I had to keep those things separate, because I wanted to be known as a comedian first. Because if you make it as a singer and then try to do comedy, people are gonna be like, man, you better shut up and sing them tracks, right? And I want to be respected as a comedian first, because comedy is my first love. But I feel like singing and acting are like strong side chicks, right? They're really right. They're like the bottoms, they're there.
Yeah, we'll hold you down and take all your stuff.
But actually over the last year I've been exploring different ways on how I can incorporate my music and into my comedy as well, because I was like, why wait? I don't want to wait to and keep my gifts compartmentalized. Like I can find a way, and I don't have to do it the same way. Like, as much as I love and respect one man and one woman shows, that's just not my style, But I definitely have some ideas on how I want to merge the two together. So stay tuned, because I'm gonna be exploring, and I've put a few things on Instagram where it's like I'll tell a story, tell a joke, and then kind of sing the punchline. But I don't know. We'll see. It's gotten good responses when I've done it, so I'm looking forward to putting more content out there like that.
Honestly, that just seems where the art world is going. It's honestly, to only do one thing nowadays sounds lazy.
Well, okay, hold on a second.
I'm just saying, everybody got hyphen, asterisk.
However, but remember, jack of all trades, master of none. So that's they've been saying that since the 1800s.
That's true.
Since cards came out, they were like, "Oh, is this a jack? Oh yeah, of all trades." But go ahead, my bad.
No, go ahead. Smack.
No, I guess I'm just saying, for me, because I grew up acting and singing, and I did, study those and get training in those, I felt like when I started comedy, I had to put all my energy in comedy, because comedy was what I knew the least about when I started. Okay. And I was like, acting and all that. And I have studied acting out here and all of that. So I definitely never gave up on the training aspect of everything. But yeah, I'm at the point now where I'm just like, I just want to take everything, all the training, and I just want to just put it out there, all the work. And I think for a long time I felt like I wasn't ready to put all of myself out there. I felt like I had to put myself out there piece by piece by piece. And, yeah.
To add on to that, the way you're doing it now is the right way, only because I got this from Steve Martin's book, Born Standing Up.
Oh, I have that book. Yes.
Yeah. Do you remember there was a line in the beginning where he says, everything you learn is everything you'll use?
Yeah.
And that's how he started with the little rote magic stuff he did as a kid. He eventually pulled into his overall comedy. But it is that, though, as we grow as comedians or musicians or artists, you're going to tend to want to expand on the things that you naturally grew up with, because we always come back to our fundamentals.
Yeah.
And I say that to say this: do you think T.I. was a funny guy from the start, or did he just want to try and upstage Godfrey that night because he was in Atlanta?
Listen.
We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about it.
Oh, man. Okay. So here's what I think. First of all, no one should ever try to upstage Godfrey. Okay. If you've ever seen Godfrey on stage live, shout out to Godfrey. Yeah. Man, he's just natural born killer. Yeah. Instantly. Yeah. So, but here's what I'll say about T.I. When I've seen T.I. in interviews and stuff, I feel like T.I. is a naturally funny guy. I feel like when he's that homie that, if you're around him, you're going to laugh, right? He's going to crack the jokes. He's going to be sarcastic. He's going to have those snide remarks. And I see him having quick-wittedness. I see that.
He does.
I see that. But at the end of the day, one of the things I love about comedy is comedy will humble anybody, okay?
It humbled Madonna, for sure.
Oh, listen, it goes God and then comedy, okay? As far as who's going to humble you. And so I feel like with comedy, one of the things with T.I. is, because this is the thing, I remember, it was Chris Rock. I just saw an interview, I think a clip of him when he was talking about, he's like, I'm Chris Rock, okay? He said, people think, it's easy when you're a celebrity comedian and people can give you grace. He was like, me being Chris Rock and all the work I've done, I could go on a stage and say, I'm going to get 2-3 minutes of grace max. That's the 3 minutes where the audience is going to be like, okay, you're Chris Rock. You're not funny yet right now, but after them 3 minutes, people want to laugh, okay? Yeah. And they don't care who you are. They don't care. You could be Jay Leno, Jesus. They're like, listen, you better
finish clearing that throat. Okay. You better finish clearing that throat. I need some ha-ha-ha.
Okay. I better be giggling and be like, quick. And
I just got fired today. You better ease my pain.
Exactly.
Pay 150 for these tickets.
Bam. And that's the thing you gotta remember. People pay a lot of money for comedy club tickets, plus the drinks and stuff. So you owe them laughter, honestly. So I just feel like with T.I., no matter what, he can go on stage and stuff like that. He may get a couple minutes in the beginning, but at the end of the day, he's gonna have to still do the work. He has to stay on stage. He's gonna have to put the work in comedy. You can't skip with comedy. Acting, somebody can hire you as an actor and you can get paid for the job. You may not be great,
true,
but
you'll say some lines.
Yeah, but you'll be cool. You know what I'm saying? Singing. Listen, with auto tuning and remixing and soundboards, somebody can be you've heard some singers on the radio. You be like, oh, okay. Then you see them live and it's like, oh. You're like, ooh, okay. Ooh, is that bronchitis?
Mama no.
Off note, off key, off pitch. Just, girl, get off the baseball field. You just off the diamond. And literally, Comedy, you can't do that. You can't fake funny. You know, you can clap after a singing performance or an acting performance, even if you don't like it. Mm-hmm. But laughter is an involuntary response, and fake laughter is just, you can tell. It's the worst when somebody's trying to fake laugh for sympathy. You're like, oh no, man, I want to earn it. I want to do that. It's the worst.
It cringes my heart.
It's just like, oh man, it's like when you're bombing, because you know when you're bombing because the back of your neck get hot, right?
And that's where the sweat starts.
And that's where the sweat
starts with the back.
I don't care where you're performing. You could be in an igloo in Antarctica, okay, and you're bombing. You're like, oh, it is warm. Like it's -60 outside, but in here,
anyone else? Anyone?
Just everyone's an icicle, and they're just like, and they are not laughing.
And it's worse if you got the armpit sweat pit on a light shirt.
Dude, that's why I know I keep it dark, man, just in case. I wear my dark colors on my top, okay?
That part.
Yeah, so you got to, and that's the thing is I love about comedy is it's the ultimate equalizer. You know, like even if you are a pro and you are really talented in comedy, it's like if you take a break from it and try to come back, you're gonna still have to. It's like the gym. You know, you still got to get them reps in.
You just want me dunking off the bench,
fam. You're not. You got to stretch. You got to trip. You know, you got to run some suicides.
for sure, you're gonna be tripping.
Exactly. So that's why I feel like that's with T.I. I'm happy for him. He wants to do it because I feel like if he got on stage, he got that feeling even remotely close to what I felt when I got on stage, and he really wants to do this. I more power to him, and the good thing is he's not gonna have to. He can go anywhere that he wants. He doesn't have to wait 6, 7, 8 years to get up at the Comedy Store or to get up in Atlanta or DC. He can just go to the DC Improv or Chicago Laugh Factory and get up.
That's my problem with T.I. That's the thing. I love the man's music. Trust me. That was the high school, like Urban Legends and truck music.
I've been with Tip since high school, fam. Tip is
that was the bar. But here's where I fault him at. One, he is T.I. He could go anywhere. So why would you specifically go after a headline? Go to someone's headlining show specifically and try to get up. Yeah, he could talk that jazz about. I don't know if you heard the rebuttal.
I didn't.
T.I.'s rebuttal, because T.I., after Godfrey said what he said on his podcast, T.I. came back and was like, hey, man, I don't know why you coming at me. I just asked the establishment if I could do some time. They said to go up on after you. And, so that's why I did it. And they actually had another clip, on another episode, Godfrey and T.I. talk about it more. But my thing is, why... if you respect Godfrey, like we all, like entertainers know Godfrey. I'm not gonna say it all, but you know the
like
man
99.9.
Yeah, right. You know the man work. So if you gonna show up, Godfrey the headliner because his name in the marquee.
Right.
And he probably got there towards the end, but even so, he was on stage for over an hour and some change. So you saw him work for a good amount of time. You saw him do his closeout, and then at the end of that, as a fellow professional headliner, you was like, yo, bro, I need this audience. I need this time. If you're not an artist, you'll understand that was disrespectful.
It is disrespectful.
It's very disrespectful. Because what if Dave Chappelle came up to a T.I. concert or a Drake concert? Drake just sold it out. I love you, Toronto. Good night. Dave was like, yo, let me drop this new hit real quick.
Yeah.
let me drop this new track real quick.
Well,
I got 20.
Exactly. No. You're absolutely right. It was disrespectful. A couple things. I think that T.I. did that because he doesn't. Even though he has the capability to get on these stages, because he didn't start off as a comedian, he doesn't understand the etiquette, I don't think. And
he did say that. He
doesn't understand the etiquette. And also, too, and Chris Spencer said this recently in the Fat Tuesday documentary about...
Loved it.
Amazing. It's on... Shout out to Fat Tuesday documentary and Gattori. But, y'all, honestly, if he said it perfectly. He said comedy is the only profession that everybody sees us do it and thinks that they can do it. He's like, no one will walk into a doctor's office and be like, hey, man, let me that scalpel, right? So it's just, so I think it's that. I think one, he doesn't know the etiquette, and I think that two, it's just, he's still in that arrogant, when you start doing something like comedy, it's easy to be arrogant and because T.I. is a solo performer and he's performed sold out crowds, but he had a DJ, he had a band, or he had other rappers, or on stage going, yo, Yeah, so it's just like, it's different. But when you can get on stage in a comedy club and you realize, oh, it's no special effects, there's no lights coming out, there's no fireworks. It's like somebody can move or change the energy of a room by themselves and their voice and a microphone, and that's it. Mm-hmm. It's different because it's something so raw about it, but still so powerful. And I think that maybe he just got on that high, and because he's T.I., he just probably didn't realize and just did it, you know?
No, I get it.
I get it. But he would still be ticked if Dave showed up and was like, hey, let me get 10.
Come on.
Yeah.
And this is not civilians here. This is a headliner to a headliner.
Facts.
And we all know, there are etiquette. He might not know stand-up etiquette, but still, there's a mutual respect etiquette.
Yeah.
To where you're not going to poach off someone else's show. That's just my own thing. With it, you know, and I was just trying to, you know, just see what another opinion was, because I hear it like,
and I'm an empath, so you know, I mean, I always give people the benefit of the doubt, so you know what I'm saying, and maybe, but I just always am like, oh man, but I love Tip, and I think he no matter what, I feel like I'm excited to see where he at in a year. You
know, honestly, that's the only reason I'm not making Twitter jokes about him bombing right now, because I'm like, if he really go hard, and he go ahead and hire, like, you know, DC Young Fire and all those, he knows a lot of young comics. Like, if he went ahead and hired a writer team or get some veterans to actually sit with him, he's gonna be funny, because the cat is funny. And he's unintentionally funny. So yeah, if he could hone into it, I would like to be on a T.I.'s All-Star Atlanta NBA weekend. Okay. I'm just in the future.
Okay. No, hey, I'm right there with you. Shout out to Hotlanta, okay?
Manifest.
Manifestation. Cause I'll be on state, rubber band man, wow. I know my 95 on my other.
Hurting my wrist.
Okay.
Watching it from the stars, mama. I'll be slapping my wrist, bruising it.
As long as he plays up, bring him out. That's how his little All-Star weekend got to start.
Yeah, I'm grabbing somebody's mama. We gonna get crunk like 2004.
Somebody's mama. Oh, okay. We're going straight for the parentals.
You know, because moms don't have time for consent. No.
Whoa. These views are not supported by Chelse Greaux Incorporated.
No, because it's like, I shouldn't say mom, I should have said parents, because parents don't got time, because you're always in a rush, so you always try to knock out those quickies.
Oh, okay.
That's where that was.
Well, I guess if you're married, the consent's implied. I mean, I'm not saying you still gotta make sure the other person wants to do it, but is that what you were trying to say?
Yeah, okay. It was bad.
Okay.
It was bad.
Did I do a good job cleaning it up? Did I bring enough towels?
I think I definitely need a woman
mess?
To come in and solve that for me.
Okay, there we go.
Mama, thank you, mama.
No. Okay. All right.
Almost got canceled. But talking about stuff that's in the hot seat and comics being in the hot seat. So, I'm pretty sure you're aware of what's going on across the seas. Russia's going ahead and starting, which is about to be a war. And the thing is, the city that they're attacking, the Ukrainian mayor or prime minister of that city, Vladimir, can't say his last name, much respect. He was a comic before becoming a politician in that city, before being like
really I never knew that
city. Yeah, and that's his capital. He's not the mayor, he's the president. He's the president of Ukraine.
I knew. Okay.
Yeah, so he's a comedian that's currently president, and he's out there in the streets right now, you know, with AK-47 and some submachines, you know, fighting for his life, and much blessings to the brother. But I saw something on the internet that was saying, see, Dave Chappelle, Joe Rogan, Louis C.K., this is how you stand up for it. And my question is that really what comedians are supposed to do? Even though kudos to old boy in the Ukraine and much power. I hope he survives and has a hot 30 after. But
you better have a 90. Okay?
Oh man, I'll watch every special he dropped if he makes it through that. Go ahead and tell me what you survived through, my G. But is that really whenever things happen, we really try to put comics nowadays to the pit of fire of being the morality threshold? Is that really what we want from our comics, to be that strong? Like, yeah, I'm gonna fight in the streets of war for you, because that's circumstantial.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay.
That's circumstantial, but I don't think that should be something that's expected of.
I think the only thing that should be expected of comedians is to be funny, right? Like, honestly, like baseline, that should, because, and I'll say this, because just like there's different there's plumbers that have different styles, you know. Some plumbers will snake or drain, some will use Drano, you know, some use vinegar. I mean, like, but they still get the job done, right?
I'm a vinegar.
Come on, vinegar, baking soda, hello. Because Drano is too hot, okay? I'll be like, Drano, okay?
Well, I'm not pouring this out the bottle. What you charging for?
Right, you gonna pour me $12 to empty this? Like, so, but this is the thing, like, I feel like with comedy, the reason, like, I can't stand, like, the censorship that's trying to come against comedians in the community is, like, because we are I feel like we are in a way the last truth tellers, right? The last raw truth tellers that can get on stage and because the thing is,
we're a lifeline to the people.
We are, you know, I feel like stand-up comedy is just putting hard truths in lingerie, okay? Like, you know, you ever seen somebody and they, you know, they looking like they've been through a rough time, but then, you know, you put on a little outfit on them, put a little makeup, give them a fresh haircut, and all of a sudden, like, oh, okay, I can take you in now, okay? Before, when that tooth was a jagged edge, you know, I was a little much. But, you know, a little brace, little retainer got you together. So it's like the same thing. Comedians really, we can say whatever we want if you put it in the pretty presentation of a joke. Seriously. So,
like, mom's not needing consent.
So I really thought that we had moved on from this. I really thought that we left that in the past. That callback was for me. Okay,
but
all right.
Moving forward.
Okay, all right. So, forget that happened and regroup, and we're back. Rewind, and we're back.
But okay. Comedians can say whatever they want. As long as it's put in the proper context.
As long as it's put in a joke that is proven funny. Yes, I will say that. Because I've heard jokes that, you know, I'm a black woman. I've heard jokes where people are making fun of black women and it was well crafted and funny, and so I still laugh.
Yeah, you know, on the side note though, some of these jokes out here on these mics are kind of not funny, right?
Oh, dude, some.
They're like personal feelings, yet diaries about how they feel, right?
Dude, can I tell you, the open mic listen, the open mic is just, your patience will be tested, fam.
Every day. Twitter is nothing.
Listen.
You got people up on that stage saying that stuff.
Exactly.
And you can tell you like, oh, you believe this.
So I have this theory, right, that I feel like a lot of white male comics nowadays that I see at open mics, it's almost like they feel, you know, the straight white man feels like really attacked right now or whatever, and yeah, I don't know, but
that's why they double down.
Well, no, but yes, and I also but also what I've noticed is I feel like, because a lot of like straight white guys, they feel like, oh, I gotta stand out, you know, networks don't want to just get a straight white guy and do this, so I have to like, so they try to like go past the line to be edgy.
Yeah.
For example, right? Recently, in the last 2 years, I think I've heard more straight white male comics say or attempt to say the N-word. Like, one of the things is like, I was like, open mic one time, and this guy was like, he was just kept saying, and, you know, and so I try to remix how so I can be down but not racist, so I just call them ninjas, right? But I say it really fast so you don't know. And I was like, ninja? And I was like, see, this is why, be funny. And this the thing is, it's not even funny.
It's not creative either.
It's not creative. And I'm like, you know, and they're just finding creative ways to like be racist on stage or to like be sexist on stage, and they feel like that's going to get them a Comedy Central special. And
that's what they don't understand. That's why they part of the problem. You think being mean to us on stage is going to advance you. That's racism. That's the textbook. That's why when I see that nonsense out there, I just be like,
and I'm like, don't
smoke my weed, bro.
Dude,
don't come up here and ask to smoke my weed right after you did that.
And no, and the worst is like, I'm like, first of all, when I see them do these things and bomb, I'm like, you don't feel that heat? Like, you don't feel that sweat I see the sweat on the back of your neck. Like, your neck is telling you to stop this.
But that sweat tells them go to fourth gear.
They do. They
like,
do.
Oh, let me just shit real quick. You ain't hit the punch.
They're like, racism doesn't work, sexism don't work, and homophobia. Like, let me just go but this is what's so crazy is I actually know some hilarious straight white guys and that are very funny and will definitely get opportunities and have gotten opportunities. And the thing is, what sets them apart is they just like talk about yourself, talk about your childhood, talk about how you don't like showering every day, right? Like, talk about how you use shampoo or soap. Talk about, like, I don't know. I just talk about anything.
White people do that, though.
I've had several.
I've had roommates.
Dude,
they do that. They use shampoo as soap, bro, and we all know, right? That don't exfoliate the body dirt of the.
Listen, I've had some white people tell me out their own mouth when I'm like, "Yo, do you have any body?" They're like, "Body wash? Oh no, I just let the shampoo run down, and then I feel like that rinses me off." And I said, "Rinse?" I said, "Girl, when you go, pay attention."
People don't have washcloths, B.
Dog, what?
What are they scrubbing with?
I'm like, man, and then you want on the fingernails a little black. I'm like, oh, was that your loofah? Were you using your natural God-given loofah?
That part.
I don't know, man.
But we're going to come right back with more, but you know what it is. It's the comedy plug, baby. So we got to play some more of that comedy, more off of your album, Off the Cane. Once again, it's the homegirl. Ooh. Once again, all the music that you're hearing, you can rehear it. Just click the link in the bio. You get all the songs as well as the names of the artists right there. Link in the bio to this playlist. But let's go ahead and bring it to where we got to bring it to. Ooh. And once again, you've been rocking with the speech guy, Tony Asar, ASAR. This has been the comedy plug where we play the hits, the skips, the jazz, and the ha-ha-ha-has, and the slappers. And of course, it wouldn't be the comedy plug if I didn't have a homie with me, Chelsea, my G. Hey. You've been busy so far in this year.
Yeah.
You've been pretty busy so far in this year. You just got back from New York, no?
I did. Just got back from New York, and I'm as an East Coast girl. I love New York. I just love that everything's close, man. You know, like, so as somebody who doesn't have a car and takes public transportation, like in New York, it's cool. You know,
they got that solved though.
That is no, like it's considered swaggy to like take the train and stuff like that. Out here, you know, people really be looking at you like something wrong, like you messed up in life if you on the bus in LA. Like, so who did you offend? Who did you disrespect? But you know, it's all, I love being out there, man. Just the food, the vibes.
And you did some shows?
I did Basement Fest. Niles, shout out to my homie Niles Abston. It was his birthday and he decided to tape his comedy album, and I was one of his openers, and he turned it into a weekend comedy festival at this place called Bushwick Public House in Brooklyn. And it's one of those things, it's so cool. You walk into the bars, pool table up top, basement is below, and it's so funny because I grew up with basements, but you know, for obvious reasons, California basements are not a thing.
No,
okay?
they're really not. Yeah.
You're not. I was like, I ain't been underground in a decade. But it's lit, you know. And so it was like 6 sold out shows, 2 Thursday, 2 Friday, 2 Saturday. I mean, it was phenomenal, dude. And the people came out. I was like, yo, no, these people rock with you, man. And we all went, and we all stepped up, the whole Goon Squad and myself. We did our thing, and I loved every second of it. And you know, met a couple fellas out there too. That was a little nice, you know, a little connection. But not a little connection. It was like, but it was something connected.
Adult connection.
Like, I mean, it's. I gotta tell you, I met this one guy out there. Okay, so I was exploring the neighborhood, different restaurants. Met this one dude, and he was like, I met him on the app, and shout out to BOK. They better pay me some money for saying this. But yeah, so I met him on this app, and he's like, oh, you know, he's like, oh, I'm tuning to the bone, mama. I'm tuning to the bone. So let me take you to the Trinity restaurant up the street, you know. So we go there, and I walk in, and it's loud. It's really loud. Yeah. And so he's asking me questions like, where did you grow up? Where you from? What you like to do? And so I'm answering him in a normal tone of voice, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, he's like, you need to lower your voice, darling. And I said, excuse me? He said, you need to lower your voice. You're talking too loud, you know. It's people know that they can hear you. And I said, oh, I didn't know I was too loud for a Brooklyn Trinidadian restaurant. Like, everyone in here is screaming. Everybody. I know we're in the back of a 15-person line, and I know the person's order in the front. Okay, yeah. Let me get 4 roti. Get 4 roti on the fly. Like, so this dog, and then this is what was messed up. He told me he's like, all right, so you know, you're gonna go today, go ahead and get your food. And I said, you're not gonna get anything? He said, oh no, I'm not eating. I said, but you're the one who suggested we go eat. Then he hit me with an oh no, like, and I said, so that's when I was like, okay, well, is he still gonna pay for it? So this is why I said, oh, it's cash only. I don't have cash. He said, oh, there's an ATM in the corner. And I said, oh, I'm actually gonna go out the door. I said, oh no, you are just an LA dude with a Trini accent, okay? Yeah. He's an LA dude with a Brooklyn accent. I said, man, because in my experience, I'm not dishing all LA dudes. I'm just saying, in my experience, there's a certain subsect of LA dudes who like, they hit you with the okie doke. They're like, hey, let's go out to eat. And then you get there and they're like, hey, can you cover me? And I'm like, oh. Can I cover you with the blood? Like, do you want me to cover you in prayer? Do you want me to cover you in hope? What do you mean cover you?
I ain't gonna lie, man. There's a lot of B-boys in this city. I just want you to know they are not representative of real Cali cats out here.
They're not.
There's some real Cali cats out here.
I agree. I don't know where they're hiding.
Most of them dudes are new booties.
Dude, nah. Some of these dudes been here for a minute. Like they actually got Cali licenses and California. Because you know
that's not the same though.
I don't know, man. If they pay Cali taxes, I'm like, dog, I don't know. I don't know.
Nah, your childhood had to begin in somewhere over at Compton, Inglewood, or you grew up in the Pomona IE, baby.
Right.
That's the ones I count.
All right, no, respect. Shout out to the Cali dudes who don't do that. Please show yourselves, okay? Please, wherever you've been hiding, please come out.
And when you come out, you better bring that peace,
okay?
That love,
and that excitement, okay?
Okay, because we ain't messing around. Big Chelsea got a lot of moves to make out
We
here.
do.
Talking about moves, where else are you performing at this year?
Oh, dude, yeah. I'm actually at Olino Vino Wines tonight in Glendale, but I got a lot of shows coming up, man. I'm gonna, because comedians, we're we love that stage time. We do that. We do
a lot for a living.
We're pros for stage time. Okay, is that what Ludacris said? Yeah. Said the other word. We're pros.
We so proud.
We're some pros for stage time. So, but yeah, you guys can catch me. Across LA. I'm gonna be in Chicago the end of March, March 24th through 27th for the World Comedy Expo. Okay. So they're gonna have comedians, improv artists, sketch actors from all over the world actually at this festival. And shout out to my homie Dave Hellum, who's from Chicago. While I'm out there, he's gonna be out there, and I'm gonna be doing some shows with him as well. So it's gonna be a really lit time. So definitely stay tuned for that.
And how do people if they want to put eyes on you, how do they get the eyes on you?
So a couple ways. If you want to follow me on social media, so you guys can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. It's at Chelse G Comedy. So that's at CHELSE G Comedy. Don't put an A in there. My mom took the A off my first name because she said it looked too white. So make sure
that's a black mother in the
that
future.
Is a black mother, okay? So it's just CHELSEG Comedy, and then you guys can check out all my content. I have a website, chelseagreaux.com. My last name is spelled GREAUX. You can also hit me if you want to watch any of my comedy specials. They're all on YouTube. So if you want to listen to any of them, they're available on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal. Shout out to Jay-Z. And
that part.
Go
to Tidal first.
Go to Tidal first, okay?
That's the one that's going to show us the most love.
Okay, because Hov got Blue and them twins, so
Hov wake up and get 5 million every time he wakes up.
Exactly. So support And yeah, so definitely all these streaming services, check me out. And yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm on the interweb. Oh, and I do have a podcast myself.
Hit us with it.
Yeah, it's called Chelsea's Chai. Season 1 is out on Spotify, so feel free to listen to that. Season 2 will be coming as soon as I don't know. I gotta figure it out, because when I tell you, I feel like I got back from New York. Before I left New York, I was going. And now that I'm back from New York, it's the same thing. So I'm going to make time for it. But y'all, again, if you follow me on social media, I'll definitely let you know when season 2 of Chelsea's Chai drops. So.
But for now, there's a lot of content. There's three albums out there. You also got a special on YouTube, right?
Yes. Oh, yes. And I have another. Oh my gosh. See, I don't forgot about my own stuff.
we forget sometimes. But I got you.
Thank you. Yes. So I did another special that was released in November by the Comedy Cube. So check out my Comedy Cube special. That is available on YouTube as well. If you just type in Chelse Greaux Comedy Cube. And just one last time, my name, I know my last name is spelled my full name is Chelse. The last name is Greaux.
That's French.
It is French.
Yeah.
Not from New Orleans.
No. I low-key was like, that's Creole.
No, it technically is. I guess everybody thinks I'm from New Orleans. I've actually never been, but I will soon. But no, my grandfather was from the Virgin Islands, so because the French colonies there too.
They beat them up first.
They did. Listen, the French are all come on, Haiti. Yeah. Like the French just was like, let's just go to the islands and conquer. Okay,
they're like, our ships are faster. We could be up the Spaniards. We could torture some before they get there.
Listen, okay, I'm just got my last name's not nothing British or
that part. Facts. Real quick before we wrap this all up, though, if you had a boat, what would you name it?
Ooh.
If you had a boat.
If I had a boat.
Yeah.
It's like such a...
People be naming boats, B.
Okay. I would say Pusher of Peace.
Oh. That's a good wordplay. Break it down.
Because, the boat is pushing me throughout the water. And I need the waters to be still and peaceful. So I feel like if I manifest that on the boat, right? And remember, just really quick 30-second Bible mention, in the scripture says Jesus, he was on the boats and then it was rocking and the disciples were like, Jesus, it was Jesus was a G, okay? He was a J, but he's also a G. But on the boat, they were freaking out, and Jesus said, peace be still. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He was like, peace be. So I think about that when life gets rocky. I just imagine myself on a boat with Jesus, and Jesus basically, in layman's terms, like, man, calm down. Don't you know I'm Jesus? So I feel like, the pusher of peace, manifesting all that, water, and we good.
I'm with it. Once again, shouts out to homegirl Chelse.
Thank you for having me.
Go ahead and cop that new album that's available right now, Off the Cane, available on Spotify, Apple Music, all the streaming apps.
Tidal. Don't forget Tidal.
Don't forget Tidal. That's the main right there. And be sure to check out our content over at fm.comedyplug on IG. It's weekly, daily, updated by my producer, Lee Waddell, and it's managed and powered by her production company, Maven Content Creation. It's a whole team family affair. Shout out to the great city of Boyle Heights. You rocking with the speech guy, Tony Asar, ASAR. You can find me with that same exact name. But without further ado, let's keep it pushing. Chelse, thank you for coming through. And
thank you. And thank you for having an all-black team, too, by the way. This is amazing.
Oh, that's very important nowadays.
Let's go.
What I mean? Oh. And it ain't the comedy plug unless I get some Nipsey. Rest in peace to the late, great King. Always South LA, baby. You know what it is. Oh.